A very beautiful morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on Wales Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. We're reaching you live from Wales Broadcasting House along Alaafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Unlimited. Perspectives Unlimited is that platform where we go beyond the news to help you make sense of some of the stories across our various national dailies. So alongside with our analysts in the studio this morning, we will delve into the dailies to analyze some of the stories that we have across our dailies this morning. My name is Toluwaleke Alli. You can watch us live on Facebook this morning at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page. At Wales Radio 893 FM fan page. We're live on Facebook and also on YouTube at Wales Radio 89.3 FM at Wales Radio 89. At the comment section of the Facebook page as we go on the show this morning. And of course, when it's time, we'll also open the phone lines for you to be a part of the show. First, let's take a look at the front pages across some of our national dailies this morning. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning, above the masthead, Emefiele appeals final forfeiture order on 753 housing unit estate. And that's on page 11. Second anniversary, Tinubu declares economic reforms working. And it has a couple of riders. Says only alternative to reforms was fiscal collapse. Reaffirms commitment to security, national development. Highlights progress made amid rising cost of living. And the story can be found on page 12 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. And the larger part of the page contains the president's different achievements as we celebrate the second year, as he celebrates the second year in office. And this particular one, is published by the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, highlighting various achievements, which I'm going to be reeling out. Over 900,000 beneficiaries of Presidential Loan and Grant Scheme, over 300,000 beneficiaries of Students' Loan Scheme, over $10 billion forex debt cleared, over 440 ongoing road projects, including over 2,700 kilometers of superhighways, 3.84% GDP growth in the fourth quarter of 2024, the highest in 3 years, 70,000 naira minimum wage payment, over 13,500 terrorists eliminated, over $50 billion in new FDI commitments. Net foreign exchange reserves up from $3.99 billion in 2023 to $23.11 billion in 2024. Over $8 billion in new oil and gas investments unlocked, 4 new landmark tax bills, 5 new regional development commissions, over $800 million realized in processing investments in solid minerals in 2024. And all of this you can find on the front page of all of our national dailies this morning, actually. It's on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper and on the front page of the Punch newspaper as well. So moving on to the Punch newspaper now, Tinubu's 2-year review stirs fresh political firestorm, and that's on page 7. Midterm review, manufacturers gasp under energy credit burden as reforms bite. That's on page 70 of the Punch newspaper. May 29 speech, we are laying foundation for sustainable future, says Tinubu. And it has a rider. President lists external reserves growth. Federal government's push against bandits among economic security gains. And those are the stories across our various national dailies this morning. All right, joining me on the show this morning is our in-house analyst, Mr. Olale Konsani. Good morning, Mr. Olale.
Good morning, madam.
Okay, let's begin with the main story, or should I say the achievements that have been reeled out on the front pages of our national dailies this morning. Today is the 29th of May, 2025, and exactly 2 years ago, this president's administration came on board. And so far, they reeled out a couple of achievements that this administration has been able to achieve in the last 2 years. I've read some of it out. Maybe I'll read it out again. It highlights over 900,000 beneficiaries of Presidential Loan and Grant Scheme, over 300,000 beneficiaries of Students' Loan Scheme.
Please, madam, can we take it one after the other?
Okay. Over 900,000 beneficiaries grant scheme.
It has been 2 years of massive failure in Nigeria. That's the truth. Anybody telling anything contrary to this is a liar. And the way and rate at which they lie is enough to even shame the devil. Just last week, they told us that they have granted 6 million people at least 75,000 naira per head. I mean, that gives you roughly 450 billion naira. 6 million just last week. Now they are talking about the total accumulation of people they have granted these so-called loans in the last 2 years, and they are saying 900,000. You can see the disparity. It's all lies. Until last week, I hadn't seen anybody who said they collected the money until last week Friday when somebody called into the program, a program on the station to say, okay, that money was actually transferred to him, but out of the money he was supposed to get, I think 75, but eventually, if I'm not mistaken, maybe he got 65 or 55. At least a substantial part of it had been chunked off. And that is what you are telling the people as part of the reasons why you are been doing fantastically well. I was going through the dailies in the middle of the night, and the president said Talk of security, talk of economy, my administration has done beautifully well. That is nonsense from A to Z. Everywhere you go in Nigeria, it's killings. Niger State yesterday, scores of people were killed. And the audacity of these people is actually what amazes me. They come during the day, 4 p.m., 4 p.m. for crying out loud. They moved from one village to the other, ransacking all the houses in between, killing scores of people, maiming. I mean, see, let's talk about the economy. Nothing shows you the state of the economy more than the purchasing power of the people. How much the people can afford to buy what they need to sustain their daily living. Before the president came on board, MAN was already complaining, Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, that things were not totally okay. And it was an open secret then that the economy was not good at all under Buhari. But then, they only had goods worth 250 billion naira in their warehouse that they didn't have anybody to buy. As I speak to you right now, as of the last time, it's no longer 250 billion. It's now 2.14 trillion. We're talking about 10 folds of what was on the ground when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board. What that simply tells you is that Nigerians have been 10 times poorer since he became president. That is just the truth of the matter. All of these macroeconomics, foreign reserve, this, this. How exactly has that translated into price, into reduction of price of commodities? Like we say on the street, how that one take join price of Gari for market? I mean, it's not making sense. Nigerians are having the roughest period of their lives. Kudos to the Archbishop of Abuja, the Catholic Archbishop of Abuja. He said the country has never been this bad. That since the current president became president, that Nigerians have actually been living in hell on earth. So what exactly are we talking about? What exactly are we talking about? Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the government has two primary roles. Number one is security. In the area of security, the president has scored a very big F. Amnesty International said over 10,000 people have been killed under this administration just within 2 years. Talk of the economy, everybody is feeling the bite in their pocket. I mean, there is not much to be said as regards to that because it's something Nigerians can see. If you say that you are not living in Benue, you are not living in Niger, you are living in Nigeria, you are spending in Naira, you are feeling it directly. How many of us can afford to eat what we want anymore? People can't even, it's not even about what you want to eat. Even putting anything in your mouth right now is like the biggest project you have to face in your life. And it wasn't like this, even when Buhari was there. And for reasons I cannot understand, instead of facing these particular issues that I have discussed, our president is so much focused on second term. That is what is taking the time of our politicians. I mean, that it's going to be an act of injustice if I don't say anything about the money they want to borrow. 2024, the president presented a budget for 2025. Initially, it was a budget of 49 trillion. He later jacked it up to 55 trillion, 54.9, let's say 55. For the whole year, he said that according to his estimate, they are going to be borrowing between 13 and 14 trillion to finance the budget. At that particular point, I said, why must you borrow? Why don't you cut your expenditure, reduce cost of governance, and instead of having this excessively overinflated projects, why don't you reduce the cost of this project? You don't have to borrow to do that. But that's on one side. I can tell you free of charge that as of March this year, the country had already borrowed 5 trillion in foreign and local debt. That's on one side. And each month, they borrow through the treasury bill. Yesterday, I was reading an additional 2.2 trillion through the treasury bill. Tuesday, I got the greatest shock of my life. In one swoop, the government is borrowing around $26 billion in totality. There is $21.5 billion. There is another $2.2 billion to be raised from the capital market, 2.2 billion euros, 15 billion yen, 745 billion naira. If you do the maths, you're talking about over 40 trillion naira. In for a budget of 55 trillion naira, you want to borrow 40 trillion. That's over 70% of your budget. So you want to borrow 70% to finance your budget. The country is the country is dead already. Between then and now, the naira, which had been struggling between 1,580, it's now, I mean, the day the announcement was made, the naira lost its value. The day after, it lost, and they have not borrowed a penny. The National Assembly has not even approved it, but we can begin to see, we are beginning to see the effect of it. So what is now going to happen when they start borrowing? Somebody in the Ministry of Finance, I don't know if it's the minister or just anybody, they was saying something that, in my opinion, is the biggest rubbish and nonsense I've heard in my life. They said they are going to they are going to collect the money, but it's not as if they are adding to the debt profile of the country. Are you kidding me? You want to go to the IMF, the World Bank, all these international funding agencies to collect money, and you're not adding to your debt. I mean, sometimes you talk as if we are stupid, like we don't know what is happening. And in all seriousness, we are not stupid. If anybody is stupid, maybe the other side of the divide. But in all seriousness, these people are not trying at all. The more we complain, the more they go, the more they fire down the throttle, and it's not good. Nigerians are having the toughest phase of their lives as we speak right now. There is no transparency whatsoever. Any contract they want to award, it's insanely inflated. Wike is renovating the International Conference Center in Abuja, which in my opinion is just an event center at the rate of 39 billion naira. How do you justify that? You want to renovate an event center with 39 billion naira. They are building, they claim to be building roads. I mean, the only one I can see actually is the Lagos to Calabar Expressway, which the president is commissioning the first phase today. Let's talk about the first phase. There are 9 states that the road is going to pass through. Now they are talking about Lagos State. When they awarded the project, they said before May 29, 2025, they would have finished all of Lagos, the Lagos part of the road, which is around 47 kilometers. From what we have been able to see in the dailies, they have released 2.3 trillion naira, and they are commissioning just 30 kilometers today. 2.3 divided by 30, that tells you the amount of money they have spent in a kilometer. And we are talking about transparency. Seriously? Since February of last year, according to the governor of Anambra State, the NNPC has not remitted a dime in the national treasury. That's so much money from Shell last year, 5.34 billion. They didn't even tell us. It was Shell who told us through their government that they remitted $5.3 billion to the Nigerian government. We have not talked about Mobil, we have not talked about Chevron, we have talked about Total. And yet, you are still borrowing money as if tomorrow is not going to come with absolutely nothing. Nothing and nothing to show for it. I mean, these people can do better. That's it.
All right. So far, all of these achievements that have been listed are not exactly.
There is no achievement whatsoever. Of course, I'm not sure there's a way to say a negative index is an achievement, but if there's anything to report, it's negative index all through. Nigerians are hungry. Nigerians are sick. Nigeria is now the headquarters of malnutrition in the world. Nigerians are far more malnourished than people living in Libya, people living in Syria, people living in Gaza, people living in Yemen. Nigeria is the headquarters of malnutrition, despite all these billions of dollars. And, I was somewhere yesterday and the president was not too far from where I was. You need to see the presence of security, man. It was like, let's say, every 5 meters, you would see a soldier standing with an armed, with an AK-47. And it was not just where he was. It was tens and tens and tens of kilometers spanning outwards from where he was. People have been killed relentlessly in Plateau, in Benue, in Nasarawa, in Taraba. In fact, virtually all parts of the country. If we can have just a quarter of that in these areas, Will this madness still continue? Of course not, it won't. But nope. Instead of securing the entire country, it's about securing a number of individuals, and that is not how to run a country. All the things you listed, my very dear sister, I would refer to everything as beautiful nonsense because it's not adding up. It is not adding up. If it's adding up, man will not keep complaining and screaming of people not being able to afford what they are producing. People believe in a good time, but that's not the case. Reverse is the case. How do you borrow 70% in once? And you have been borrowing money monthly. Then one day, around 44 trillion naira, $26 billion, just overnight. Is there any assurance that they're not going to borrow again before the end of the year? In fact, before the end of the month?
Well, the Minister of Security, mentioned also that the federal government has secured a $134 million loan facility from the African Development Bank, to invest to help farmers to boost seeds and grain production in the country.
Last year, they said they had secured $1.1 billion, which is around 10 folds of what they are claiming to have received from the AFDB. Can you tell me the result of that? When they came on board, I know too well that I was buying a Congo of beans, the best of them. I mean, it was between 450 and 900. That of 900, I bought 10 Congos. I went back to the market like 3 months after this guy became president. It was 6,500 after collecting $1.1 billion. So what exactly are we talking about? It's about larceny here. People are just stealing public funds. Late last year, they said there was going to be, they secured under loan, in their words, to ensure the health of Nigerians. $1.7 billion go to the UCH today. In fact, after they secured the loan, there was no light at UCH for a very long time. And it's not just UCH, it's the same thing happening at Louvre, University of Benin Teaching Hospital. All federal government teaching hospitals, they are all lamenting. They don't have light. So where exactly is the $1.7 billion? In the area of drugs, the President of the United States of America carried out some reforms that slashed the price of drugs to the tune of 85%. Here, it's about we are going to slash it by 50%, but at the end of the day, it's going to increase by over 100%. So who is fooling who? No. All of us are not. Of course, there are some people who find it difficult to think straight. They are going to tell you, Yoruba Muslim and Southern Muslim. I don't care about all of those things. Give me a functional president. Let the person, in his wisdom and understanding, him or her, choose the vice president. And I'm okay for as long as you're a Nigerian and you are not convicted, you do not have issues with senility or mental health problems, let the person take charge and fix this country. But instead, what you are going to hear is it's Yoruba people, it's the son of the South, as if that is what's going to help you.
You can join the conversation this morning by calling the phone lines 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 1000, or 0916 893 2000. 0916 893 2000. You can also call 0915 333 4893. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sani. My name is Allwell Brown.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
My name is Allwell Brown.
Okay, sir. Welcome to the show.
When Nigerians handed their country over to a bunch of criminals, what do they expect?
Hello. Please do well to call back. 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 2000, or 0915 333 4893. Drop your comments on Facebook this morning at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, or drop your WhatsApp messages on 09154 999 893. 09154 999 893. It's been 2 years of this present administration. What are your thoughts so far? They've been able to highlight, some points, but where do we now move from here? We still have 2 more years with, a lot of people clamoring for this administration to return in 2027. How do we put an end to all of this? Okay, let's pick this call first. Hello.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, this is Ruth calling from Malacca.
Welcome to the show, Ruth.
Thank you, ma'am. No, the administration of President Tinubu is nothing to write home about for the past 2 years now, because their failure to put in place necessary measures before removing subsidy on fuel is the sole problem of what we are experiencing today. And instead of them to think outside the box in finding out a solution to it, they keep borrowing and putting Nigeria into more hardship. So I just hope Mr. President and his cabinet will do the needful in addressing this hardship in the remaining 2 years, instead of them telling us that economy and security is really improving under their watch. Their renewed hope is the continuance of what we experienced during the Buhari administration. It's not that we help us. So good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
This is Miriam from Odeja.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. As regards the 2 years in office of Mr. President, sincerely, to me also, I really cannot point at anything when he's talking about his achievements. Because since he has been in the office, the country is moving from top to bottom. What we now have is crippled economy, high level of insecurity, unemployment rate, and to even talk of hardship and the like. Sincerely, I think Mr. President should sit back and think for ways to take the country to prosperity. He should do things differently, because doing things the same way will never bring a different result. That's my take.
All right, thank you so much for your take this morning. Now, what do we need to do now to... Okay, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to Alli in the studio. Sulaiman Sherif from Nara.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. See, 2 years in office of Mr. President. I don't see Mr. President laying foundation for a sustainable future. My question is, where is the stability of Naira to foreign currency? What about the security situation of this country? Because when I read, they said they eliminated 13,500 terrorists. If what they are saying is true, why would give the terrorists others go and comfort our military men in their base? What about the different tariff hikes that push more Nigerians to abject poverty? All what we need from Mr. President is sincerity of purpose. Because those people that surrounded him, they are not sincere. What's going on in Nigeria? A lot of Nigerians, they are facing a lot. And it's been 2 years now to end his office. Mr. President, what is focusing now is about 2027 re-election, not about the promise that promise again that inside that renew hope. What we in Nigeria we are expecting from him, because we know the price of commodities before Mr. President came on board. Since 2023 till now, inflation still biting us, which is unbearable for many Nigerians, especially the poorest of the poor. That's my own submission. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your submission this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, my name is Oluwadamilola. I'm calling from Bodija.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please turn down the volume on your radio set.
No?
Yes, it's
Is
better.
it better?
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you. Yeah, as regards the 2 years in office of Mr. President. Now, since the inception of Mr. President, things have skyrocketed. The number one thing he did was to increase the prices of things by removing subsidy from petroleum. Now, how I wish he can just return things back to the way he met them before he came, the way things were before he assumed power. Because seriously, Nigerians are crying now. Rarely can you see a family that can feed 3 times a day in Nigeria of today.
The only thing the president knows how to do is to milk money from Nigerians one way or the other. That as that. As regards security, what is he doing as regards security? We've been clamoring for state police.
Now, please, Oluwadamilola, do ensure that you call back on the show. 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000, or 0915-333-4893. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please turn down the volume on your radio set.
Yeah, I'm not even with the radio. My name is George. I'm calling you from Ologwe.
Welcome to the show, sir.
You see, listening to the president, it seems he's not even listening to us. Because from day one, we have been crying, and there's nothing he's doing to adjust to what we are asking him to do. The people are dying. Insecurity is terrorizing people. We cannot feed ourselves. And he's not even talking about those things. And he's telling us what he's doing that is killing us. Is he not torturing us? For example, anyone who is in government is not supposed to be in any business that relates to that government that the government will be paying money to. Mr. President's family are constructing the East-West Road. Everything about NNPC is with the same family. What sort of anybody who is working with any government office is not supposed to be doing any private job. Is that not the law? Have we changed them? So the president should not continue at all. And we are planning to continue after 2027. It's not going to be accepted. Please, let us stop him now.
All right, thank you for your contribution.
Let me say a word to Mr. George. They are not even fixing East-West Road, so rather they are starting another one beside East-West Road, given to high-tech. East-West Road is as bad as it can get right now.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, this is me. I'm calling back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. When it comes to security, I believe that the Baba Tinubu administration has failed Nigerians because he is aware of what was on ground before he assumed the office. And what was expected of him is to cut the menace and not to make things worse by not tackling as he should. So I think by now, this man should please think twice. And I believe there is still room for improvement. So you should please do the needful. We need to be secured. The farmers, we the people, we all need maximum security. And I pray the Lord will lead him right.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello?
So, Samin Sheriff is calling back.
Welcome back.
To say with ourselves, if Mr. President wants to end the insecurity that is ravaging our country, there's a solution. Mr. Bacha said if terrorists last for 24 hours, a government known about it. During the Jonathan era, Jonathan said there's Boko Haram within his government. And what the Borno State governor said a few weeks ago, he said there are some informants among the Nigerian army, even politicians. So the president to allow state police to drive. Thank God the northerners, governors and their monarch, they have rethink. They also push for state policing. So here in the southwest, our governor already clamoring for state police. That is why they set up the Amatekun to complement the effort of our security agency. If we have state police across the region, definitely the insecurity that is in our country will reduce in the minimum. But without it, we are deceiving ourselves. That is the bitter truth. That's my answer.
All right, thank you so much. Hello?
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 Yeah, this is Oluwadamilola calling back.
Okay, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Like I was saying the other time, as regards insecurity in this nation, we've been clamoring for state police. Now, let the federal government decentralize security. Let him start from there. Now, when would you wake up in a day or a week now without you hearing about killing, abduction, and the likes? And it's becoming so sad. Now, I expected that when he was coming in as, the president, he knew we had the issue of insecurity, and I expected that he would tackle it immediately. But he didn't do that. Instead, he's saying he wants to
employ forest guard and all that. Now, we are not saying forest guard is not good, but it should look into state security. The way lives are being lost in this country is very, very bad. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Oluwadamilola 0916-893-1000 0916-893-1000 or 0916-893-2000 0916-893-2000. You can also call 0915-333-4893 0915-333-4893. Drop your comments on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. At Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. And we'll be sure to take your comments this morning. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Wells Radio. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, madam, welcome. Good morning, Mr. Sonny.
Good morning,
God bless
sir.
you. All right, my name is Salami. I'm calling from Awoton.
Welcome to the show, sir.
All right, madam. Thank you very much, ma. Is it that Mr. President called himself so high? It's no crime. For me, it's not a crime. Everybody will do that. However, the masses who feel the pinch, who groan daily under the hardship of the economy, security insurgency, and all manner. And what is it all is? Most of it all is the alarming rate of corruption in the government. So everybody can assess the administration by ourselves. Honestly speaking, so the president can give himself 110% over his achievement, whereas he has scored even less than 10%. Honestly speaking, the time was in this country we had a president, Obasanjo, who fought for debt cancellation. Another one came and is plunging the country into more debt on a daily basis. Fine. So it says a lot about the two of them. Now, people can what baffles me or what impresses me most is the elite who simply because of awareness, Salami, honestly speaking, all I can say is that this administration is not the one to fix this country. And I pray the remaining 2 years, the president kind of reduces or changes its entire working system. If not, the remaining 2 years of its administration will be so terrible for this country. Let alone talking about that 4 years. May God forbid. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Please turn down the volume on your radio set.
Okay, these are the from Sydney.
Welcome to the show, Adirunke.
Yeah, concerning the president 2 years in office, the economy is really improving on paper, while hardship is ravaging the masses. So our president himself, while in office, is not the best way to do. So let the masses, we the masses, we are the ones to give him the scorecard. Just take a look at the security, the insecurity we are facing in the country. It's too much. People are being killed on a daily basis. So until state police is being approved, that is when we cannot rest of mind. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. Mr. Sani, where do we go from here?
Number one is that we need to understand the potentials of this country, place the potentials beside where we are. If you are satisfied with what is happening, okay, pick the call.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, this is George calling back.
Welcome back, sir.
During the time of President Yaradua, there was...
Hello?
That's the Niger Delta problem. You know what he did? Jonathan was his vice. He told Jonathan, he said, these people are your people. Can you go to the creek and ask them what they want? And Jonathan, with everybody seeing him with cameras and everything, went into the creek. And he came back with a solution. Which solution is Tinubu planning towards this killing of innocent Nigerians? There is none. He took Saudi Arabia to return Gumi back from Saudi. And he got visa from Nigeria. Among the people who are leading our contingent to Mecca, which solution do you think this man is bringing to our problem? Please, we have prayed a lot. Tinubu should please set us free from these problems. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your contribution.
I'm sorry, your captor won't set you free. You have to set yourself free. So, like I was saying, if you're satisfied with the status quo, please vote for him again 2027. If you are not, look elsewhere. That's the solution.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Demola Adedi is speaking from Protected Road.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, every Nigeria has the right to express their own opinion based on the way they see the present government. You see, the truth has to be told. Truly, Mr. President removed the subsidy, he flowed the dollar. But the money removed from the subsidy were all equally distributed among the 36 states, including Abuja. The floating of the dollar, the gains from there, were also distributed among all the 36 states, including Abuja, and all the local governments. If I may ask, who is responsible for the production of agricultural products? Is it not the states? Now, some states within this southwestern Nigeria, they are using all our farmland they are turning it into an estate. Please, we should look inward. Our total concentration at the center is so much. That's the reason why we don't see there's no value for what Mr. President is doing. Look, we should come back to our local government. Let's ask our governor. What are they doing? The excess money they are collecting, how are they spending it? Nobody is talking about. Our concentration is at the center. Please, good morning.
Let me say something here. There are 3 tiers of government. Number one, we have the federal government, the state government, and the local government. This president, upon assumption of office, took the governors to court to get autonomy for the local governments. And the Supreme Court did what was right. They granted autonomy. Till this very present moment, the president is yet to send a penny to the local governments. That tells you that, we should take the local governments out of what's on the ground. As regards why Nigerians are blaming the president, let me tell Mr. Ademola something. Everything that is actually wrong right now, at least most of what is wrong right now, is coming from the angle of the federal government. Number one, security. Talk of security, the state governors have no role whatsoever in security, according to the Constitution. That is number one. Number two, the things that actually matter, that will determine how wealthy Nigerians are going to be, are being determined and controlled by the federal government. Interest rate, rate of inflation, exchange rate, the price of petroleum products. These are the things that are making Nigerians poorer and poorer and poorer and poorer by the day. We cannot count the accolades that usually go to former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, because he did right. He slashed the VAT, the rate of VAT, from 7.5% to 5%. This president, on the other hand, wanted to take it to 15%, if not for the fact that the National Assembly said, no, you can't do that. So, for me, I won't be the one to say, Sheyi Makinde did well, Babiodun did well. They are all in the same coach going in the wrong direction. But the truth of the matter is that in terms of pace, the president is doing more bad than what the governors are currently doing right now. And in terms of money, what should have been going to Nigeria in the name of fuel subsidy is actually on one side. Let me tell him why Nigeria has so much money to throw around right now. VAT has increased. FIRS is now generating 4 folds. For the 2020, the entire target of FIRS was around 5 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. as we speak right now, the target is 21 trillion for this year. It tells you that money is coming at least in four folds. The NNPC has not remitted a penny since 2024 February. So let's not blame the states. I won't say they are doing well. In terms of agriculture, they can do much better because they own the land. But the president can actually step in by saying, okay, these are seedlings, these are things, these are the inputs you are going to use for farming. Nothing like that is coming. It's just throwing cash at them. That is about buying loyalty and not working for the people. That is why they are all running to the president's party. The president knows exactly what he's doing.
Okay. On WhatsApp, we have this WhatsApp message. Good morning. 2 years into the administration, expectations were high for growth and development. Unfortunately, things seem to have worsened. However, there's still room for improvement. But the president be guided towards making decisions that benefit the people. All right. Thank you very much, although you didn't mention your name. On Facebook, Adedamola Okunlala says, did the president say security has improved under his administration? Indeed. Then why do we still hear about killings and abductions in some parts of the country? We keep clamoring for state policing to help fight insecurity. But what has the federal government done about this? The federal government needs to do better with the security of its citizens. And also continues to say this present-day administration has turned poverty to the new normal. Since this APC-led administration came into power, Nigerians have been struggling to survive. The only thing this administration is good at is to milk out money and resources from poor citizens. I want the president to know that hungry people are angry people. Suleiman Sharif says, good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. 2 years of President Tinubu in office, the situation in Nigeria has become so unbearable that many talented citizens are now fleeing the country, with others resorting to suicide to escape the agonies inflicted by the APC government. We need positive results from Mr. President, not efforts. 0916
Efforts are even
893.
fine. What we don't want is rhetorics. And that appears to be what we are getting.
Okay. 0916-893-1000. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, the radio man.
Good morning, Mr. Gbenga Mario.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Honorable Sonny. God bless you.
Morning, Chief.
Now, I want to plot one statement made by Mr. Sonny when he said that if you are happy with what is happening in the country, that we should bring back Mr. President from 2027. And the reason I'm having with that is that look at the coalition we are looking at the margin of politicians from PDP and other political parties, Labour Party, down to APC, and as well as looking at the way our election normally goes in this country. Do you think the vote of we Nigerians will count at the end of the day?
Yes, sir.
Do you think? How sure are we to that effect? So looking at it in terms of people, in terms of numbering, APC they are now having an upper hand. The collect last week said that democracy in this country is gone, reason being that 2027 election the result has already been written by the APC. So actually that is being that one is I might not even take that serious. But for geography, looking at what and the way we have been doing our elections in the past years. You and I will see that oftentimes our election does not really count. It's in this country that we have an election and towards a particular candidate will be winning and they will tell you that they are waiting for a particular local government result and that when that one is eventually comes, it is turned over the table. You understand how our election is being run in this country. So I think to the best of my knowledge I think our electoral process in this country is not yet is not yet right, so that our votes will count. So many Nigerians does not want Tinubu to come back to 2027, and this is thinking that they're looking at his reform that is anti-human. So most people does not want him to come back. But this man is a game. When it comes to politics, you understand the size very well. When it comes to politics, he's a game changer. He knows how to maneuver his ways, and I give it to him. And secondly, I want to openly beg former president of this country, President Jonathan, because during his regime, I was among those that fled from my area here down to Secretariat or thereabouts. telling him that you want him to leave you don't want him to come back, that we are tired of his administration. But now we have understood better. We have known more better that Jonathan then was a saint, so but now it's much more clear to us because you cannot equate what this present administration is doing compared to what Jonathan did. Jonathan, how much was petrol? If they tell me today that you buying fuel as high as 1,000 naira, I will tell you that God forbid that people will vote. But in Nigeria now, they are buying fuel at the rate of how much now? 800 now. And people are going about their normal duties and nothing is happening again. So in conclusion is this. I think Mr. President has the next 2 more years to work on insecurity in the country because, like he said this morning, that he has done very well in the security of the country. I want to tell him categorically that statement is zero. That insecurity-wise, I call it zero. So you should just try and carry so big. You try and do more so that in the next 2 years, you'll be able to tell him that, yes, Mr. President, you have done very well. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Agbenga Mario.
Let me clear your wrong notion here. Our votes count. That's the truth of the matter. Because if they don't count, they won't be paying us to come and vote. They won't say, okay, Diboko Sebe. No. They know exactly why they are saying that. It's because they need the votes. So please, let's not discourage Nigerians from voting. That's the only weapon they have to fight this battle. And don't discourage them.
Okay. So yesterday, the United Nations applauded Nigeria's global peacekeeping service. How do we, merge together the fact that internationally we are doing well with peacekeeping, but within Nigeria, there's so much going on with insecurity?
Let me tell you something. Who is the commander there? Foreign generals. Talk of the capabilities of our soldiers. I mean, I don't believe that anybody can even compete with us. But a soldier cannot act alone. A soldier acts upon an order from a superior officer. That is exactly where the problem lies. Our generals have been collecting trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions, and it's still the same problem. I don't want to go much into this detail, but anybody with the brain knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's about the mindset of the people at the top. You can finish what's on the ground within 3 months. 3 months if you're actually serious about it.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, I want to disagree with Benga Mario. The number of the people defecting to APC, they are not more than the masses who are suffering today in Nigeria. So if the electoral body do the right thing, if they are not taking side with those who are killing us, we will be able to defeat this hunger and insecurity in Nigeria with our election. And it's not too late for us to start for the remaining 2 years to plan for a good option of electoral style, like the A4 something
Option A4.
that we use for Abiola. If all of us insist that is what we want, let them give us that so that they will see it on cameras that these people have decided that they don't want this style that they are using. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for calling back.
Mr. George is making, much sense this morning, and I'm loving what he is saying. Option A4 is cost effective and it is transparent. Why exactly are we not talking about option A4? I love it. Let the people see who is winning. Let's see what's happening from the field. There is going to be a picture of all candidates, and people are going to line behind the candidates. So why can't we have that? If we have that, it's going to be extremely difficult for anybody to rig. Whereas this idea of secret ballot, everybody can vote in one direction. At the time of voting, 1 or 2 things may happen. It doesn't frequently happen, but yes, it does happen in Nigeria. But the truth of the matter is that with option A4, there is no room for that. And like I said, you won't have to print a ballot paper for everybody. You won't need the idea of printing, buying ink. I mean, it's going to be cost effective in my opinion, and I think we need to give it a shot.
All right, thank you so much for joining on the show this morning.
It is always an honor to be here.
Okay, thank you so much to everyone who has been a part of the show this morning. As I would always say, wherever it is that you find yourself, ensure that you do your best to put Nigeria out there in good light. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. I am Toluwaleke Alli.